Okay, so this next series of stretches are for your hips and your groins, and this one is the stage one, the easier one. So it's a cross-leg hip stretch, and you need to set yourself up so that you are sitting tall on the bones of your bottom. So you don't want to be sitting back on the fleshy part of your butt. You need to think of sitting so that you can feel your bottom bones on the floor, and then you're sitting tall, stretching through from your pelvis, so you're sitting up tall. It's easier to show you the stretch from the front. So you cross your legs and you're aiming for a symmetrical cross. So imagine a straight line in front of your knees. The point where your legs cross should be sort of mid-shin, and your heels should be as close to your bottom as you can get them. So you don't want one leg sort of sticking out further than the other. You're aiming to get your heels in as close as possible, as comfy as you can get. And then when you're in position and you're sitting up tall on your bottom bones and your knees are relaxing down, if you just get hold of your feet and then you're aiming to bring your tummy to the floor. So you're going to roll down over your knees, aiming for your nose to the floor. That's not going to happen, but it's a good thing to aim for. And you will feel this in the outer parts of your hips if you're doing it correctly. Your bottom bones stay on the floor, so you're not rolling forwards to lift your bum up off the floor. So your bottom should stay where it is, and you're trying to move. I'll show you from the side. So you're not rolling to lift your bottom up off the floor, your bottom stays where it is, and you're trying to move from your hips and fold your tummy towards your thighs and hold it. And it's important you do the stretch on both sides. So when you've done one side and held it for 30 seconds or so, cross your legs the other way, same setup, and stretch over. So you'll feel a stretch in a slightly different way in each hip depending on which leg is forward. And it's often useful to do one leg, stretch, other leg, and then go back to the first side because you're likely to get a bit more movement once you've done the stretch once. And it's actually a really good basic stretch for your hips. Cross-leg hip stretch. When you've done that one, to take it to the next stage, same sort of setup. So you're sitting on your bottom bones, and this time, soles of your feet together, and again, you're aiming at getting your heels as close to your bottom as you can. I'm not very flexible, so there's quite a big gap with mine. And you're aiming for, this one's a groin stretch. So again, try and sit up as tall as you can and not sort of slouch into the stretch. Put your elbows on your knees and push your knees down towards the floor whilst you're sitting up tall. And this is quite a strong groin stretch, so nice and steady, and try and breathe and relax into it. If you can, if you're really flexible in your hips, you should be able to get your knees much closer to the floor than I can, but do what you can. And that's the butterfly groin stretch.